Hi, have you ever wanted to make silly music? No? What about Nintendo-esque music? Neither. Still, welcome to that video in which I will make silly music. I never have made any of these kind of music and have based this track entirely on my experience with games like Animal Crossing or Tomodachi Life. You know, bangers. Cause those 2010s Nintendo Wii games especially, they all have that very special signature to them. And yet, even today, it is still used in playlists like this one or silly music that makes my depression go away kind of playlist. And I was curious to know, what was it like to write bangers for the Wii? So I launched Ableton and I took my best wow synths and got to work. Alright, so to start off, we can talk about the basics, which is the chord. The chords are extremely simple, it's really that. Like that. As you can see, basically, to make it work properly, you can just make silly little chords. And as long as on the fourth note you put a little combo of little chords, it really adds this little smooth transition to the repeat, which is basically there. Like, see? Very cool. And it goes that way the whole thing. It just will change a bit with other synths, but the main chords are here. And yeah, that's it. Just an E piano mellow. You know, like everything is basically here. If I go in the instruments, you will find everything up there. And because making Tomodachi Life / Animal Crossing / silly music is very simple in sound design. So something else that I'm gonna point out is the bass. So the bass is basically, you have to follow the chords, but as you can see here, sometimes when you follow the chords, you add one note that is not on the chord. So it's very important, I think. Like, for example, I can show you, if I take away this one that is in between and this one that is not on the chord and this one as well. So now we only have bass playing on chords. But if I add all these notes I've deleted back, see, it's way better. Basically, it's way better. That's just for the bass. That's really it. Now I think we can talk about the second most important thing, which is the drums. The drums are very simple. You'll see. Start of the track the same way I actually finish it, which is with bongos. I think it's called, like, what is that called again? Conga, not bongos. Conga. See, it's extremely common in those silly Nintendo-esque music. Over there, I add new instruments in, and by the way, this is a core, once again, library thing. It's inside of Ableton. I did not use anything out of it. And just here, I start adding, as you can see, little things. Like, this is before and this is now. I just add things. Alright, and now for the main thing, which is this one. Very simple, like snare, kick. And once again, chord library, nothing added, nothing more. What to say? I did add a few things as we progress in the track, like here. I've added this. And at the end, I believe I've added a new kind of snare. There we go. So that's just to make the difference. And then this is the last, like, that's the peak of the track. So I added another snare. This one. And that's pretty much it. Now, if you remember, I've had that in the background. Right? And I've added another layer of those, but with different sounds. So here it is, another core library. If you want to check it out, this is this name over there. You can find it. And this is that. And if you play both now at the same time, you have this. And now if I put the whole drums, we have this. So you have that really classic signature of it. Oh, another thing I did not talk about is that little section in pink, purple over there. So basically these are little sounds as well of the others, like this one right before the song really starts. And we have other little sounds down there. And all these are just placed there to go with. So that's even more detail in the drums. So that's it for the drums. Now I want to talk about some background noises I use. This is a noise bed. I love noise bed. It's like this sound. If I put it to the max, you can hear it maybe a little too loud. This is it. This is that, the whole thing. You can, the loop is this, and it goes on and on and on. And basically what this gives is a little background noise to fill the emptiness that can be left, as well as you can see above a bar ambience, which is the exact same the exact same sample audio I've used for my intro Chantilly on my album Cowbed, but I've placed it there because I thought it fit. So now with everything, we have this masterpiece. Alright, now to talk about the synth. Here it is, that beauty. It's basically just wing, 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 and it has a glide. So as you can see here, basically the note is played, but it goes all the way like... It's very important to do that kind of thing in the song because for some reason it adds a silliness and it works. If I were to get rid of the slide, the glide I mean, here we go. If I put it back, it's just so much better. We have that the whole way through, except here we have a little break. It changes, so it adds more complexity to the whole thing. And with all this, we have that nice little tune. Little break. There we go. Important to do little breaks, to not be too repetitive, because this kind of song is honestly really repetitive to begin with. And speaking of that, we have a breakdown over there to lead to another part of the song. So how did I do that? I used another synth to do chords once again. So this is another synth. This time it's a diva. Okay, this is a plugin. This is not from Ableton, but here it is, my sweet diva. If you watched the video on making an underwater track, you know I use diva all the time. So chords, a little different, which is the whole point. And a little more of a little more of difference from the chords that play the whole way. And then we have those nice typical Animal Crossing, maybe not Horizon, but more like 3DS and Wild World DS OSTs with that little synth. Once again, stock plugin, and basically this is just filling the blanks. You can see this is basically playing only when nothing is playing, except here, whatever. So we have this. It's basically this synth is answering this one. Like this one is asking, how are you? This one says, I'm fine, and you. So it goes like that. See, really classic in music, music production. And over there we have an even more Animal Crossing-esque synth, right? This is Animal Crossing. This is I used Vital for this one, and it is the simplest thing to ever make. I just took sine wave, and I've added over there. Yep, add a little attack. So instead of sounding like, it sounds more And that's it. That's really it. There's nothing else. There's no effect. It's just really like simple. Like I said, silly music can use super simple synth and sound design. And with all that, we have this. And we go back in there. And this time, instead of having only this, like this one, you add everything I've added to the breakthrough to lead to the next part. You take it and you add it there, changing a little bit to make it more complex, as you can see, but it's there. So it comes from there to that. At the same time, adding new drums and adding new stuff over there. So more complex drums and new synth overall. And here we go, another break. And this is just the same instruments, but with different chords and different notes. You might notice I tend to use a lot the conga here every time there's a new thing playing. I think it just introduces the next part pretty well, and it goes before the drums, before everything kicks in. It's nice. And then we have the final part over there with a new synth. Right here we have this one. This one doesn't do anything new. It follows the exact same chords as this one over there. It's just to, you know, like put more emphasis on the notes themselves. Like, there's nothing new. There's no response. There's no little breaks. It's only playing the main chords to add background. It's important not to do too much of a mess in music, so you don't want everything to be too filled with sound everywhere. So yep, you can add complexity to the track by only pushing and adding more complexity to chords rather than notes. I'm adding this guy. Another vital synth. I have a simple little saw that I've basically just brushed, it seems, and a wavetable over there called flank growl, and effects, the compressor, because without it would be. So compressor just brings all of the spectrum back, and a little filter to make it more silly, like, and then you add the filter. Silly. And once again, very important for the silly is the attack. Exactly like I've described before with the other synths over there, it's a response. It's a question answer. And the conversation goes a long way thanks to that over there, which is a new one, a vital again. The real difference is that I've added another filter over there. That's pretty much it, honestly. So we have a question answer once again between these two synths going in the background of the rest. Question, answer, question, answer, question, answer. And with all that, we have this. So over there, I added a little effect. It's the vinyl from Isotope, and it's just make it sound like that. See? And I wanted to add this as a little transition, so it hits more, get rid of the drums. And a very important thing that I think changed everything is that instead of having a loop of this synth over there, it actually changes. There's that. It's basically new. If I try to superpose both of them over the other, you can see. Can you see like the difference of the notes? I think this really was a game changer. And I introduced, like I talked about, from this to a new snare, which I think adds a lot to the whole thing. And here we go with everything. and to end the whole song, I've added a little chord like that, which is basically what we've heard the whole way, except I've made them last the whole way, and a little bit of these two. And with them lasting the whole thing, it gives this nice little ending. And that's it for this video. It was really a brand new style of music I had never made until now, but it was fun to make. Though listening to the same wow wow synth and chords for hours in a loop almost drove me insane. And if you made it this far in the video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing if you want to support me. And that's it. See you next tune.